Busey's gingerbread ass.
Obviously had a hand in it.
He did have a hand. He had a hand in a lot of
he had the hand popping out the dough.
Yeah.
And then when it folded back in itself, it did kind of look like an anus.
What's funny is that's the only time that it had fingers at all.
How did he shoot the gun? He just kind of had it like, on his
I want to know how it was wielding things and like, it drove a car with a
steel rolling pin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Never saw
I need Gary Busey to go on the record and tell us like what exactly his thought process was.
We watched Troll 2, everybody. Yeah, it was a great time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cage and Greatness, the show where we discuss the films of Nicolas Cage on occasion. Tonight is not one of those nights.
I think our percentage like plummeted after tonight.
So, as you would know if you listened to last week's episode, this week was our B-movie spectacular, and we did figure out how to make the choice. We left it up to Twitter. We put a Twitter poll up today, and first off, let me tell you that everyone who voted in that poll, go fuck yourself.
We have your information now.
So we're gonna go around. And those of us who lost the Twitter poll, really we're all losers tonight, but those of us who lost the Twitter poll specifically, we're going to tell you what movie we chose and just a little bit about why we chose it. You know, a tiny little blurb. And then we'll come around to the winner, even though, again, there are no winners tonight. and he will tell you why he chose what he chose, and then we'll talk about it because holy fucking shit.
It was right.
It's a dinosaur.
Jeremy.
Yes.
What was your pick?
I chose Robot Jocks because my friend Doug Youngman texted me, and the only reason I really wanted to go with it was because of the following text that I received was, it's an 80s giant robot gladiatorial fighting. I think it was only lasted in theaters for like 2 weekends. Bad enough, my dad is still bitter and rants about it to this day about having to take me and my brother to it when it came out, and I was immediately sold. Basically, giant robots fighting over territory, Cold War, Pacific Rim before Pacific Rim.
That sounds awesome, though.
It does sound pretty neat. Ken.
I went with the movie Troll 2. No real reason why. I asked one of my friends who is renowned for his B-movie expertise, and he suggested it. Apparently, one of the guys who's in the movie is just like, it was the only movie he was ever in, and now he's like a dentist in Alabama somewhere. So thought that might be interesting. But yeah, that's about it, really.
Fair. I picked Kull the Conqueror because we've discussed it a bit on the show several times. It's terrible. Kevin Sorbo. That's all you really need to know. Kevin Sorbo. But none of us won.
Yeah.
There were 23 total votes. There were 4 for each of the movies we've just mentioned. So I got 4, Jeremy got 4, King got 4. The winner with 11 votes, and you 11, can go to hell.
Straight to hell.
Was Cannon's pick. Cannon?
Yep, that was me.
Could you please inform our beloved audience what we watched?
Well, tonight we indulged in the decadent, moist,
It was very moist.
delicious treat of a film. The 2005 classic, The Gingerdead Man, starring Gary fucking Busey, ladies and gentlemen.
Head judge himself.
Yes, Gary Busey in one scene, and then like maybe half a page of lines of voiceover dialogue.
Yes. A lot of tasty dialogue. Almost heard all of it.
Movie was definitely not up to code.
Oh, no. Not at all. That restaurant was filthy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's what we watched, and the reason I chose it is because one night after a stream, actually it was during a stream, I was like, you know what, I'm going to look at some YouTube movies and see what they got, and by God, the poster got me. If you've seen the poster, we need to throw that up on Twitter at some point, but it is fantastic. It's Gary Busey's just great face, and also the Gingerdead Man with the same face. And it's spectacular. I watched 15 minutes of it down here after the stream, and I was like, oh my God. And I stopped it. And I was like, when it landed on the B-Movie Spectacular for Uncaged, I knew what was going to happen.
You decided to damn us all.
And damn us all you did.
Y'all didn't have to be here.
I mean,
no one. Now, Gingerdead Man didn't have a gun to your head, at least.
that's true. It felt like it sometimes.
It's fine. It seemed like everybody had fun.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was having a good
I didn't know
time.
I'd signed up to watch a comedy.
Yeah, it was. Fairley Brothers, be damned.
So let me briefly tell you the plot. No. Right, we're gonna do the thing we always do. I'm so thrown off. We're gonna go around. We're gonna fucking rate this thing, as we do. So Jeremy,
Yeah,
lead us off.
I gave it a half a star, but in B movie terms, that's like a 5, right?
No, 5 is still a 5 in B movie terms.
Like, I'd give it a half a star for a horror movie because at no point did I ever feel scared. But as a comedy, it's probably like a 3.5.
But it's a half star.
Yeah, it's a half star. Sorry, I mean, it's probably not going to change anytime soon. I caught myself laughing more than I was like, oh my God, gas, clutch pearls, that whole thing.
Ken,
I'd give it a star. I don't feel like my time was completely wasted. Like, I enjoyed it enough, making fun of it and stuff. I honestly spent way more time picking at the logical issues of this movie than actually following the plot. Not that there was much of one.
it's a plot.
It was one really, really long scene. More or less, but I think it was okay. It had its funny moments, and that's about all it's got going for it. And it's got Gary Busey just being completely unhinged in the first scene. That honestly makes up for a lot of it. So yeah, 1 star.
I gave it a half star, and my review is best summed up with this tweet from Gary Busey from 2018. It's my favorite tweet of all time. Gary Busey wrote in 2018. There's no such thing as right or wrong when you are drawing a llama. And I think that really just speaks for itself.
There wasn't a llama in the
So
movie.
half a star, but I did heart it.
Yeah, it's kind of a llama in its own way. You almost went with the movie Llamageddon. That one was.
Oh, man.
Llamageddon. If you go on Amazon Prime, there's a shocking amount of B movies. Like the Velocipaster. That one's a pretty decent.
Velocipaster.
Oh man,
Carnosaurus.
Forgot about that one actually.
Cannon,
Yes.
how did you feel about the Gingerdead Man?
You know what? I had about a star's worth of a time. Like the parts that made us holler for all the right reasons, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, I don't regret it. It's a terrible movie. It's fucking god awful. But I've seen worse.
That's very true.
Well, in the sense of I've had worse times watching movies.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, my favorite part about the movie, it was barely an hour.
Yeah, honestly, if it had been any longer, my rating would have probably plummeted. But it's like the McDonald's of movies, It's like you don't feel good for having watched it, but you don't hate yourself that much.
That's a pretty decent McDonald's.
I don't know.
It hit the ground fucking running though.
Oh man, the beginning of the movie was
lying.
so absurd.
Jesus Christ.
Are we moving into the plot portion?
Sure.
I guess.
All right, so the movie opens up with Gary Busey straight up murdering a man or woman. It was a woman's scream, but I'm pretty sure it was a man at the bar. He's robbing this 50s style diner and for some reason just massacring anyone who even has the audacity to walk towards him.
Clearly, someone did not like his Yelp review.
Yeah, he really just got him with that 1 star. But there's this family who's sitting in a booth, and the dad's like, I ain't gonna stand for this. No one's taking my diner's hard-earned money. And he starts stumbling towards Gary Busey, and Gary Busey just shoots him dead right there. And then his son's like, you know what, I think I'm going to do the same thing. And then Gary Busey toys with him. He's like, I'm going to put the gun down right there in front of you. You can shoot me if you want to. And then he's like, I must get it. And then he just stabs him right in the back. And the captions say squelching noises and twists it around a little bit. And
It did say squelching in the captions.
yeah,
Thank
he's
God for
dead.
those tonight. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, very helpful.
There was the whole back and forth where he was like, please put the gun down, please. And he kept making him say it different ones. Like, now you sound like my high school principal, and it's like, Gary Busey, do you have you need some therapy, dog?
It was kind of like a worse version of Anton Sugar from No Country for Old Men.
I feel like he just forgot the actual line that was supposed to come after that.
That's probably true.
He was just stalling for time.
Like, that was like 3 takes tops.
Yeah.
It could have been more.
Like, they were there for an hour for that one set piece, and that was it. It was just an hour, and then Gary, like, I've got to go somewhere else. I've stuff to do. Pet judge, and he's fucking gone. Right?
I don't think I was acting. I legit think somebody fucked up this hash browns.
Yeah.
And just started just shooting people.
I don't think Gary Busey knows he's an actor. I think that he's just living in certain situations and just doing what feels right.
He's the type that 100% believes we are in a simulation.
I mean, he might be in a simulation. Like,
I have in my notes though from that scene the quote that he said, "Something smells feminine," and it's like,
something smells feminine.
Excuse me, Gary Busey, can you like elaborate
feminine
on this more, please? And then,
okay, so did he shoot the girl?
Yeah.
Or did he shoot at the girl?
She screamed. We never. It never showed.
It was unclear.
Apparently,
he was like, "Mama told me I always got to finish what I started. That means I got to massacre every motherfucker in this
I
diner."
wound the last one.
Yeah,
Apparently.
Like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, there was never a wound discussed, never a wound seen. She's
No.
just bang. Oh shit! Cops here, gotta go. And then cuts to like however long later it was, and he's in newspaper clippings. This is the last time you see his fucking face.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Did we say Gary Busey's name in this?
No,
no, we haven't yet.
Fieldmeyer or some shit?
Millard Findelmeyer.
he's on tight.
Findelmeyer.
So it cuts to the newspaper, and there's a voiceover of him. Like he got the chair. Like they caught him, and because of her testimony, he got the chair, and he's dead. But he was screaming out like, "I'll get you from the grave. My mama's rich in Coonsboro."
God, yeah, that one was.
That's a real line. He said that.
Well, he had that whole like psycho moment in the diner when he's like keeps like going on. He's like, "Mama told me not to," and then he keeps like looking at the girl and looking like he's torn, like he needs to shoot her. And then there's just like, "Mama," fires a gun, expecting him to break out in a queen.
And then there was a delivery of gingerbread mix, but turns out, I'm not spoiling anything for you, the delivery person was wearing a hooded black cloak as they walked away.
Hey, look, don't you know that the Postal Service is suffering really severe problems right now? They'll hire anybody.
Look.
I heard that that's the new FedEx outfit. Yeah, it's,
cultist robes?
yeah. So why not?
They're breathable. It's fine.
So it turns out, we find out later, well, it's never really specified, but it's his fucking ashes. It's Millard Findelmeyer's ashes.
Yep.
That they don't get checked at all. And gunshot victim survivor, her mom's bakery. It was her brother and dad who died. And there's a helper, dude named Brick, who
wants to be a wrestler.
He wants to be a razzler.
Yep. Not Steve Carell.
The butcher baker.
The butcher baker.
That was.
He fucks up a box cutter. He bleeds into the ashes, mixes it into the gingerbread mix anyway. And then magic, black magic, with like Frankensteinian lightning bolts.
I just wanted a health inspector to walk in right as that happened and be like, "There's blood in this cookie mix. Y'all gotta shut this place down."
Yeah.
Before the Gingerdead Man comes out, though, you cut to this old lady with a handle of Jack hanging out outside the bakery with a shotgun, taking pot shots at a sign across the street. Apparently, it's only shooting feathers because it just happens to knock one side of the thing down. And then the girl comes out like, "Oh, Mom, I thought I told you not to drink and shoot at people again."
Like that shotgun's got BBs in it. That's all.
It's just cheese.
Like there's no kick.
No,
It's just like
shooting cheese.
And then it knocks, like he said, it knocks a banner off the side of a building. No damage to the building, no damage to the banner, just boink,
Yep.
and it flops.
And then a younger Doug Dimmadome pulls up in a '78 Camaro.
This is part of the Dimiverse.
Yeah,
Yep,
and then
confirmed.
he's just like, "Oh, if you just sell me your property for $50,000, you and your drunk mama could go live on happily forever after."
Yeah, with me and my daughter.
She calls him Daddy. We don't quite know what it means.
This is set in Waco, Texas.
Yeah, she was the prettiest face in Waco.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they say no. And then about that time, shit goes bad with the lightning.
Oh, was
A Tesla coil appears above the oven as the toddler-sized gingerbread man. This isn't a normal-sized gingerbread man. They have this cutout for like genuinely an infant-sized gingerbread man.
Yeah.
Like, how often are people buying gingerbread men of that size?
No, the thing's easily 14 inches tall.
Yeah, she ordered it on Wish. Like it was scaled like very small, and then when she clicked order and it got there, it's like, well, I guess we got to make giant child-sized
Guess
gingerbread.
we got to do it.
That's what you do.
And it's also not like Christmas or anything at all. It's just a random gingerbread man in the middle of July in Texas.
And there's a hand coming out of the dough at one point. It's the only time you see fingers on this fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's like a random like baby doll.
It looks like he's
with
flipping,
little stubby fingers.
He's flipping brick off. That's what I thought.
Maybe.
Probably.
It wasn't like clear enough to really tell.
Checks out, though.
Yeah.
His characters.
It's Gary Busey as a gingerbread man. He's got to flip somebody off, right?
I guess.
It's in the contract.
So, like the acting in this movie, the acting.
There was acting in this movie? People talked in this movie?
There's a lot of talking.
There was dialogue.
It was definitely
There was
talky.
shockingly not that much violence.
Yeah.
Only 4 people died.
Only 4.
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. No. The opening. Dad and brother are half the kills.
Yeah. Like that's why I'm like, it's not really a horror movie because like all of 2 other people were murdered by the Gingerdead Man, and then yeah.
Well, no, 5.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, yeah.
I mean, we'll get there. It's at the end of the movie. But yeah, there were some choice lines, like for example, when not Doug Dimmadome says, "Y'all should just sell to me," as like, "Why don't you hold your breath?" And then there's an intense music cue immediately after.
And the dude's taken aback, and he's just like, all right, looks like you got some comebacks, Miss Lady.
How dare you, ma'am? Another one that I enjoyed is the power goes out as Doug Dimmadome's daughter wife and her punkish boyfriend looks like an extra from the Tony Hawk skater background.
I've seen him in a Korn music video.
I can confirm that.
Like their power goes out, and Survivor Girl says, "Maybe it's the storm." Power goes weird when it's storming out. There's not a cloud in the fucking sky.
No, literally like minutes
rain,
before that showed a scene of a clear sky with a moon, like maybe a couple clouds, no rain.
Nothing at all.
Like the only time it was daylight is the one scene with Gary Busey in it.
Yeah.
Well, in the end of the movie.
When the cultist dropped off the package, it was
Oh, yeah,
daylight
that
in the
one too.
alleyway.
No, yeah.
The rest of the time, it's just dark outside.
Well, I feel like they filmed the alleyway behind the diner, and that was just like one of the people who had already been killed in the road, because you never see that face.
You're probably right.
And then they rented out a bakery to fill in at night to film the thing, because they have to do it at night because the bakery's open for business during the day, because that's all they could afford.
That sign for the bakery.
It was literally a chalkboard.
It was so
Yeah,
bad.
it was not good.
Yeah, they just had to rewrite it every time it rains.
I mean, they obviously did this in one night.
Oh, yeah.
All one take. All first shots.
Maybe 2 nights. Maybe 2.
We also didn't talk about the over-exaggerated, enormous oven that's like a giant contraption machine.
Yeah, so it's just a giant... It's just like a walk-in freezer, but an oven with red lights.
I'm convinced they used the walk-in freezer for the oven in this movie.
Almost certainly.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
They just filmed it from different angles.
There was one shot where there was like a whole ass bread rack in front of the controls when it was an oven, conveniently enough. So I was like, that's the same fucking thing.
The giant Tesla coil on top of it.
It's hot enough to ignite I don't want to ruin anything if we haven't gotten to quite the end yet, but basically the mom after...
This will be the first time we've ever gone in order for any movie, so that's a shocker right there in itself.
I got to keep the
It's hot
listeners
enough
on
to
the edge of
bring
their seats.
the Gingerdead guy to life.
But like the mom, the drunk mom with the shotgun, she comes back at some point and she's just like, "Oh, look at this cute little thing," and he's just like the entire time holding a knife behind his back, and then she just like goes to poke him, and he cuts off one of her little drunk fingers.
Well, there was also like the classic Looney Tunes gag of she's got the giant bottle of Jack.
Yeah.
And she sees the little Gingerdead Man. She's like, "Well, I mean, that's enough of this," and puts the bottle down, like the classic pink elephant joke.
Yeah. Clearly AA was not doing, but
We all know I'll cause a great
but
hallucination.
a living gingerbread man is enough to make anybody quit drinking.
Sure.
Or starting more, depending. I guess her finger cut off, and then one of the other girls who worked there gets bonked on the head by a frying pan and shoved in the oven freezer. And they pull her out at some point, and they're like, "Oh, she's might not make it." But like the weird thing is that she's just completely covered, like in a skin tight layer of like icing and sprinkles,
and
with two maraschino cherries where her nipples would be.
That got me so bad. Like that shit was hilarious.
Mummified in whipped cream.
It was even funnier because she was the one that was working on the birthday cake earlier in the movie when they were like
foreshadowing.
She wasn't working on the cake. No icing ever came out of that little tube. She just kept pushing it.
They were like shoulder to shoulder. Everybody kept getting so damn close to one another in this movie.
They didn't have money for wide shots.
No, they did not
at all.
They wasted all their money on Gary Busey.
People hating each other and just like shoulder to shoulder, just sitting there getting all cuddly and stuff.
Well, they wasted it on Gary Busey and the effects to bring the Gingerdead Man to life.
Those effects cost $20.
That was a puppet.
Well, no, I'm talking about like the scene with the electricity on the Tesla coil and the explosions and the fire.
Well, they showed that scene twice because it cost money. Yeah. My God, we're going to get our money's worth.
Well, every time I kept seeing the Gingerdead Man, all I could think of was the insult, the comic dog, like that kind of like
Triumph.
Yeah,
Triumph, the comic dog.
Like just the way the Gingerdead Man was moving, like this little like,
and kind of the way he talked. I mean, honestly, his insults were pretty low
I would
brow.
I would also like to recite this quote.
All right.
From when he sees a rat that was brought in by Doug Dimmadaughter.
Well, his daughter. Is Doug Dimmadome's daughter, wife.
Dimmadaughter, yeah.
Doug Dimmadaughter.
Yeah, wife.
Gary Busey, as the Gingerdead Man, is looking at a rat. Now, there's no context for this. It's never brought up again. This is just there. He says, "Hey, rat, I'm talking to you. You want a piece of me? Hey, you little shit, fuck off. Come over. I want to kick your ass. I'll kick your little rat ass." And then it just cuts back to the other stuff that was going on.
Yeah, that's it.
I needed that rat to come back and save the day.
I need to kick that little rat ass. Man, if that's going directly into the daily vocabulary.
That rat needs to have a Rambo moment where he like puts on the headband and just beats that ginger dead ass.
The ginger dead ass. We never saw it. Unfortunately, they didn't have the budget for the ass.
Yeah, we couldn't get the ass crack. Also, it was funny that we saw the scene where she was making the Gingerdead Man, and like you see her make the face, and then she sticks in the oven, and when it comes back out, its face is nothing like what she made.
No. This grotesque abomination.
The face is full of evil.
Oh, so that's what evil does.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Evil is made entirely of teeth.
Yeah.
And lumps.
Oh my God, man! Me like being in the kitchen industry as long as I have. Like, there's so many health code violations in this bakery. Like, first of all, you already see the blood in your dough, right? Also, the fan, big no-no. And like, they had flour in that bitch. You can't have a fan in a kitchen like that. No. And you can't have secret alcohol, no matter what kitchen you're in.
It wasn't even that secret. She has handles of Jack stashed everywhere.
No one was wearing hairnets.
I legit thought she was like about to grab like a pot to like swing at the Gingerdead Man, but no, it was just her handle of fucking Jack.
Well, I thought she was gonna knock him. She was like, "I better hope it's full," and I'm like, "Oh, for the weight, to hit him with." And no, she just takes a couple swigs.
She was just making sure she.
Yeah, that checks
should have been a Jim Leahy shot of her just downing the entire bottle, staring into the camera. Just look.
That's like 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Away.
This movie loved single long shots to death.
Could you imagine this movie remade by the Trailer Park Boys cast?
Oh, yes,
that would be incredible.
Yeah. Instead of the Gingerdead Man, it's Conky.
It's Conky,
yes.
Dude. Yes.
The script writes its fucking self.
It's it. Like, he's the drunk.
We got our brain compartments and our brain departments working here, boys. We got to go.
We'll get two birds stoned at once.
What comes around goes all around. Remember that. But
yeah, it was certainly a movie.
Oh yeah, rats implanted by the
Doug Dimmadaughter.
Yeah, Doug Dimmadaughter,
daughter wife,
who got killed by the only so she tries to leave and she hits this very obvious tripwire, and all of a sudden you hear laughing, and this combat knife just gets chucked straight through her forehead, and she just turns around and just like. And then it falls over. But we forgot the part where Doug Dimmadome gets bisected by a 1978 Camaro, and her daughter just walks out.
He pulls up because the daughter calls and says, "Daddy, come get me, Daddy," and then her phone dies.
Right.
Just because she forgot to charge it.
And he's like, well, that tattooed punk is gonna blah 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 my daughter, blah 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 blah.
She took his ring.
He sees it. He gets out. He starts walking in, and he just hears this laughing. And he sees Camaro just like boiling his rubber, just smoke billowing off the tire. He's like, "Now hold on, just a second there, big fella. Hold on." He backs himself in between him and the building. And he's just like, "Oh no!" And it's just like the scene from Spider-Man where he gets impaled by the glider. The Green Goblin does, except it's like a Camaro and it's moving like 3 miles an hour.
Yeah, that was.
And then the daughter comes out and was just like, "Daddy, no!" And then she's just like, "I'll always remember you," after she takes his valuable jewelry off his dead body and just goes inside.
Like that hood had to have been about knee height.
Yeah.
There's no reason he should be dead.
Bruised knees at best.
He clearly tripped. Look, or he saw money on the ground. We all know money and businessmen with cowboy hats they're just drawn to it.
So the Dimodomes and the brother and dad from the beginning are the only people who die, other than Brick.
Poor Brick. Man, poor old Butcher Baker.
He's a brick, and he is drowning slowly.
Yeah.
He shows back up because he wanted to go to Razzlepalooza. Wrestle-a-Palooza.
He was going to get to try out because it was an amateur night.
Yeah, because that's absolutely a thing.
He was slamming mosh pit. Because I'm going to make a name for myself.
I think Santino Marella won a belt that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, the Milan Miracle. I remember that.
Butcher Baker.
So he shows back up in the nick of time after the Gingerdead Man gets a revolver.
I saw you through the window.
And there's no window.
They're in the back of this place. There's no window. And it's like probably at least 11 o'clock on a Friday night at this point. But
after the power's gone out in the building.
And they have a generator. They just have a full-on standby generator. And they have like a nice little romantic relationship part where like the delinquent who's been in an accounting more times than you've made pies. He's just like, "Oh, I tried to kiss you when we were 6 and you punched me in the nose." And
oh no, he didn't remember that.
No, she said,
"You're right."
She said, "Maybe I just get turned on when girls hit me."
Yeah, like
that was a line.
This guy goes,
"Sir, you might need to work that out."
Submission key.
Like, here's the other thing. This is what bothered me the most, and it's a dumb thing. The generator didn't work. They had no gas. They had no power in this bakery the entire movie, and yet the freezer and the oven both work fine.
I can forgive the oven. Propane, maybe.
It had a fucking like power suit, like Star Trek type.
Yeah,
there was like lights blinking on it.
I don't know why I'm trying to give this movie the benefit of the doubt. Like
the Ouija board powered it.
It was a Ouija board.
Okay, so like Doug Dimmadotter's dead. Dimmadome's dead. The mom is still missing a finger and crying,
and hasn't bled out yet for some odd reason.
Clearly they got her to be the token Latina character is there because they kept having her pepper Spanish into the lines.
Yeah,
she's there. SLC Punk has brought in a fucking revolver for some reason. He wastes 4 shots, then loses it after getting bonked on the head with a hammer. Gingerdead Man grabs the fucking thing, fires another at least 12 shots.
This man is just
Bruce Campbell can use a lever action rifle and shoot more times than there are capacity in that rifle. This Gingerdead Man can use a revolver.
Okay, like the rifle thing, you could at least suspend that because maybe there's extra. Like this is clearly a 6-shot revolver hand cannon, right? And this fight, he should have had 2 shots left max. And it's fucking like it's 12, bam, 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 and nobody gets hit apparently. And that's after Brick shows up and like I'm gonna wrestle you. And so they get the gun away from the fucking Gingerdead Man, and he throws him on the ground because they can't actually like throw around because it's just a stupid little hand puppet.
Yeah.
And he's, "Eat me, you dick!" And so he bites his head off.
That sequence was
starts
just gnaws down,
just munching on this head.
Brick killed a guy.
Yeah. And so you think that we're done, but it's a horror movie. You got to have the fake out. So everyone's like, "Oh, we're fine," but Brick is like, "Oh, my tummy hurts," and he goes to the bathroom and like, "Oh, we're leaving. I'm gonna go get Brick. He's taking forever." And he comes back and like, he's gone full evil Ash from Evil Dead 2, like the sunken eyes. He's possessed by Gary Busey, which is a sentence that I just had to say.
Gary Busey is inside him.
He even got to deliver the line, "Give me some sugar, baby."
Yep. Which I forgive. That's a clear homage. And then all of a sudden SLC Punk comes back in. Like, oh no, it got Brick. Let's kill him. And other girl is there too, and they shove him into the oven and they turn it on, and he goes rah, 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 and he's dead.
Like whatever happened in that window, it was like I don't know what they were trying, but it's like you see his face for a second, and then you just see like a fading of white, and then gone.
So you guys forgot like possibly a sponsored spot. You know, this is in the 2000s. So after Brick eats the gingerbread man and like raspberry jelly is oozing out of his head, he just looks up at the camera and goes, "Got milk."
Yeah.
And then the next scene is just him sitting there looking as macho as possible, just guzzling a half gallon of milk. It's just dripping down his chin, just bloody face. And then the one character is like, "Oh, we know who the real badass here is now." Butcher Baker. It's the Butcher
the
Baker,
way she
baby.
It was Mas Machismo.
Oh yeah, very. Yeah, and then he dies. But
you left out the one gunshot that SLC Punk guy did. After he got hit with a hammer, he just miraculously grabs the revolver and shoots the handle on the oven door and frees the girl. Which
right.
So how are they able to trap Brick in the oven if the handle's been shot off the door?
No, there was a pan that they had wedged in.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't catch that. I was too busy laughing.
I had to go back to the scene where the Gingerdead Man is just blasting away with this revolver 12 times. And at one moment, he's just shooting straight ahead, and they're standing right there, not budging, yet nothing.
I think SLC Punk, what is that what you're calling him?
Yeah.
I think he did get shot in the leg because there was one throwaway line there at the end. It's like, let's get you to the hospital and get your leg taken a look at. Like, I think that it was just really poorly shown.
Yeah, I couldn't tell because he wasn't.
He was just walking fine. It was just like it was a graze. Tis a flesh wound.
The
only injury that was sold at all was missing finger.
Oh, and it was sold.
Yeah.
She'd been drinking an excessive amount of Jack Daniels, had a finger cut off. That woman has lost so much blood. I don't know how
she's had a hell of a Friday night.
Yeah.
Taking pot shots with a 12 gauge at a rival business. Keeps talking about it's them taking over.
And she was on her second bottle of Jack because the one we saw at the beginning was empty.
Yeah. So after they roast Brick alive,
literally,
or undead, however you want to say it, everything's fine. Sure, 3 people are dead, but it's Texas, so everything's fine. Nobody cares.
It's a normal Friday.
Yeah. The next shot is like months later. SLC Punk and Survivor Girl are all happy and whatnot. They've got nurses at the bakery for a thing because their fortunes have turned since Doug Dimmadome is dead.
Right.
No longer will there be competition across the street.
Now they have the monopoly.
And some punk little bastard comes like, "You got any gingerbread?" And they're like, not like I expected Survivor Girl to just fetal position crying PTSD, right?
Just punch him right in the face.
She's like, "Not on your life, kid." And then one of the nurses is like, "No, some nice old lady dropped these off." And it's just a box full of little Gingerdead men. And their eyes open into googly eyes. And that's the stinger. They
start looking around like, "Man,
this is going to be the sequel." And I'm told that there are, in fact, sequels.
There's a Gingerdead Man cinematic universe.
Oh, no.
It already has a crossover with another movie, like The Evil Bong.
The Evil Bong. It's a movie starring, let me look at The Evil Bong.
I think
The Evil Bong is a 2006 American stoner horror comedy film directed by Charles Band about a group of stoners who smoke from a sentient, malevolent bong that traps the smoker in the bong world, a surreal realm filled with killer strippers and other full moon creatures.
What?
It apparently features Tommy Chong at the end of the movie, but they have a crossover movie in 2013 called Gingerdead Man versus the Evil Bong, which is kind of like a Freddy versus Jason type thing, where they apparently just go at each other. And I think I have to see it.
I mean,
I think I have to see it. I don't know why. I at least need to watch The Evil Bong.
The Gingerdead Files.
The Gingerdead Files.
So is this like a worse version of the stuff?
This is the origin story for the Gingerdead Man.
Oh, I am. Wow.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
You remember the Full Moon movies, like Puppet Master?
Oh yeah, I love this.
Well, they did a knockoff of their own thing called Demonic Toys, because of course they did. But then they had the Demonic Toys crossover with Doll Man, which was another movie series they had, which was about a very small man. So they made their own cinematic universe that nobody gave a shit about.
They're pioneers.
They made another one.
Yeah, clearly. Kevin Feige must have saw this and was just like, "Oh my god, I have an amazing idea."
Yep, we have to watch them all now.
No,
I don't think all of them starring Gary Busey.
I don't actually know. That's a great question.
Just shocked if he came back for any of them.
Oh, there's, involving the handgun again. They shot Brick like 3 times, but because he ingested the Gingerdead Man, it didn't phase him because magic.
Right. So this 6-shot revolver that they never reloaded had about 20 shots in it.
Yeah. It's Texas. Everything's better and bigger.
So there's Gingerbread Man 2, Passion of the Christ.
I'm sorry, what? What?
Yes.
Is there a poster?
Yes.
Please tell me there's a poster.
Let me see if it's still got Mr. Busey in it. Who is it starring?
I am
Passion of the Crust.
Where's that crossover?
John Vulich takes over for the Gingerdead Man's voice.
Boo.
Yeah, it's real letdown. Honestly, I thought that Gary Busey's voice acting work could have been a little bit more unhinged.
So Gingerdead Man 2 was released by Full Moon Entertainment.
Oh
Yeah.
god!
Here's the
that is an amazing.
This is the poster for it. It's got him popping out the.
So
the
I'm
old
guessing
pie.
it happens.
And then there's Gingerdead Man 3, Saturday Night Cleaver. Honestly, these names aren't so bad. And then there's Gingerdead Man versus Evil Bong. And
if Sam Raimi's listening, he needs to remake these movies.
Dude, they made comic books off of this.
Apparently, after the crossover, he just became one of the antagonists in the Evil Bong movies.
Oh, okay.
He just took over the Evil Bong series.
Oh.
Apparently,
the
Wow.
comic book series was named the Gingerdead Man Baking Bad.
It's an Action Lab book. Action Lab is known primarily for doing Zombie Tramp.
Zombie Tramp.
That's exactly what it sounds
Like
like.
a zombie hooker kind of deal. Huh.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah.
Or is everyone zombies in that movie, or is she just like a one-off?
No, this was a comic book series.
Well, I mean, in the series, whatever.
No, it was just her.
Oh,
it was a
just-
zombie, but she was totally coherent.
Oh.
And most of the time she was naked.
So it's like X-rated iZombie.
Yeah.
Okay. That works.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. I mean, it tracks.
Most of the time she was naked.
Yeah. No, they always had 2 versions of each cover.
Oh. Yeah, because you got to have the
dirty,
the one that
clean.
the kid in the store sees and goes, "Oh, that's kind of cool," and then the one that the other people want.
Right.
And they're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
It's kind of like this movie. How I was like, there were a few times where we were all like, "This is just like."
No, this movie was entirely too horny. Like, I don't know. Like,
There's so many moments
like
where it's
there's just like people are way too close to each other and making eyes at each other. It was just like one bad producer away from being a softcore porn. Like, it was weird.
The Survivor girl, every time she kept talking, all I could hear was Luann from King of the Hill.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
She had that real raspy. I know things are terrible, but you look pretty good in that sleeveless shirt.
It was you that said like she's sitting in his lap in that one
Yeah,
scene.
she absolutely
100%.
was.
The tone changes when they're just chilling. Like there's an evil gingerbread man trying to kill y'all, and you're using pickup lines.
Yeah.
They trying to fuck.
In the generator room while
They
his
was trying to fuck.
his side piece is outside.
Yeah, that was interesting for sure. Her character was. I don't know what I'm expecting from this movie. I was gonna say she's been one note, but it's like, what do you expect?
Like her and
It's not even a full note.
it's a half note.
her
It's an
and
end note.
the daughter person, like her and the main chick, they go through this like thing where it's like, first she's trying to plant a rat in the bakery, and then they go to being angry and trying to fight one another, and then they go to being friends, and there's like a scene where she's asking her about like her life, and then the next scene we're slinging bitch
It's
at
just
one
like,
another.
shut up, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really all over the place tonally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
Yes, a brown note. This
yeah.
movie was a brown note.
This movie was a brown note. 69-minute long brown note. How long
That
is
explains
this
why I
movie?
had that feeling in my stomach.
Oh man. What a roller coaster.
So again,
It was just all downhill though.
to the 11 people who voted for this,
Thanks, I think.
we'll never forgive you.
You're being
I don't know.
doxxed soon.
Thanks for letting me know about the Gingerdead Man cinematic universe.
We have
though.
an expert team of hackers
Never going to let this go.
that are currently deciphering Twitter to
Just add it to the
determine.
list.
I'm
Cold
tracking your
Mountain.
IP as we speak. I've created a GUI and visual
All
base you can
ones.
track your IP
Wait,
addresses.
do we have a loud enough keyboard that we can do like the 80s hacker
I need
man
2 people
noise?
to type
Like,
with me.
We're breaking into Twitter right now to find out who these 11 people
Oh,
are.
I'm already in.
I'm one of them. I had to vote so I can know the fucking results.
I voted
I do
too.
hate that part about Twitter.
Yeah,
I was good and did not vote.
I
'cause
voted
was
for
like, I don't
mine.
want to try and
I'll be
influence
honest.
things.
That is weird that you can't just see the results on Twitter yet.
Yeah, it would be nice if you could.
It'd be like if you don't want to vote,
How is it going to drive
why would you not
engagement?
vote?
Or like just a button that says to see the results, click here.
Yeah,
And
it'd be
I
easy.
guarantee there's a meeting held on this. Like
Yeah.
this is corporate trigger.
It's like, no, man, they got to click.
They gotta drive
gotta
engagement,
engage. They got to engage.
Yes.
But it was a terrible movie, but it was a fun time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
laughed really hard.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. I think we all
Because
laughed.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, I just couldn't believe. Like, I'm watching it. Like, I'm pretty sure that I have a fever right now, and I think that I'm delirious. I'm dehydrated. Like, I'm going to wake up in the hospital because this can't be real.
And the only prescription
Oh, it
was
was
more
very
Gingerdead
real.
Man.
the
Someone's going to serve you a child-sized gingerbread man, and you're going to be like, "Get that shit out of my face!" And then
You're
it's
just
going
gonna
to.
wake up and start hearing Gary Busey's voice,
exactly.
saying like completely unrelated plot exposition in the middle of your day, like stuff that you've never said before. Like, I'm gonna get you, bitch.
I think I've told the story on the show, but I did meet him once.
You met Gary Busey?
I was a young lad.
How was it? How was he?
I was probably 8 or 9, and my dad had a friend who ran City Stages in Birmingham. He's one of the
Oh,
promoters.
well, that's cool.
And so they took me out there at like midnight on a Thursday because
School night.
my parents were terrible.
That's what you do with a child.
And yeah, right. And so we're going through, and I had seen Predator 2 already because, again, parents.
Right.
So I love that movie. I love the Predator movies. Also, Predator comic coming out on Wednesday. Marvel finally got the rights and stuff settled.
Oh, and Prey came out.
Yeah. So I go, and Johnny Resnick of the Goo Goo Dolls is there, and he's super nice. Talks to me a little
That's
bit.
cool.
Like, oh, hey there, little guy. And goes and does the show. And then there's a dude. We're out in a field. Dude sitting in the VIP section, and I was like, hey, look, Justin, it's Gary Busey. I don't know who that is. He got cut in half in Predator 2. Oh, I love that movie. Huh? And so he talked to me for a little while. Was super duper nice. Like, asked what I like to do for fun. I play with action figures. And he's like, oh, I used to play with army men. Like, but the whole time, I'm still young, but I have enough experience to go, he's on all of the drugs.
Yeah.
Because he was completely blitzed out of his mind. Totally ignored my parents, which was hilarious. But he was super nice to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't he have there was a TV show with him, like Life with Busey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching
That was fun. It was a Comedy Central show.
Have you guys seen Gary Busey Pet Judge?
No.
No.
Not
You,
yet.
you've not seen Gary Busey Pet Judge. I'm not entirely sure someone didn't come up to Gary Busey and tell him, hey, we need you to be a pet judge. Because, like, he puts everything into that shit. Like, you cannot tell that he's joking at all.
I mean,
like,
that sounds like a thing that he would have gone to someone with, of like, you know what I'm really good at? Judging pets.
no, it's not. It's like divorce court, but with pets.
Yeah.
So it's like got legal matters regarding, like, one of the episodes is like, oh, I want to cremate my cat on a Viking pyre in the local subdivision pond, and he's just like, well, I mean, we gotta think about the environmental concerns about cremating the cats. You know, I mean, whose pond is it? You know, is illegal and stuff. Like, he's taking things very seriously. It's incredible.
The first thing that jumped to mind when you said the judging pets thing was, and my ruling is, you're a good boy.
He would say that.
But he clearly hates rats. We already established
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Oh, he wants to kick that little rat's ass.
You remember when he was in the Hitman game?
No, he was in a Hitman game.
It was up to a vote. It was between him and another actor. I forget
Sean
his
Bain.
name. Yep, that was him.
Yeah.
No shit.
Trying to kill Sean Bain.
And I think both of them ended up being released, but Gary Busey was the one who won first. And there was a mission where he was the target in Hitman. You had to assassinate Gary Busey.
You
Yeah,
guys.
it's like the newer ones.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he was in that Christian Apocalypse movie?
No.
Christian Apocalypse
What?
movie.
Yeah, well, it was like Left Behind, but not.
No, so
Damn.
it's the knockoff.
So it's a
of Left Behind.
knockoff of Left Behind. God,
That's
what
the
kind
one,
of
yeah.
what kind of horrors does that hold?
Kid, I'm surprised you don't actually remember it because
I
they
should.
showed this shit in school all the time.
Did they?
Yeah. Let's see.
Was he a bad guy? He probably was a
no,
bad guy.
he was like
He was
the
the
lead
hero.
in one of them.
I could not imagine.
Let's see. I'm gonna find. I want to say it was I think it's called Apocalypse because of course it is.
Apocalypse Beauty. Starring my teeth.
Yeah, Apocalypse 3 Tribulation.
Oh, God.
Ooh, the
Now,
tribulation.
this is the same film line that was. At part 2 had Jeff Fahey as the lead, and part 3 had Gary Busey as the lead, and Howie Mandel was in it.
Nice.
And Margot Kidder. And then 4 had Corbin Burnson and Mr. T.
Wait, Mr. T.
Mr. T.
I mean, if I was stuck in the apocalypse, I would want Mr. T with me.
Right, like if the world is ending, then I need somebody who's really good at pitying fools.
Exactly. And
You know,
looking
this movie
good.
actually sounds kind of interesting.
It's
in a
terrible.
weird way. I mean, I'm sure it is, but it says this film tells the story of Tom Cambora, who finds himself battling a mysterious group with psychic powers. Like, that sounds pretty cool. Is this a Christian movie?
Yeah, no, this was the line that said, you know what Left Behind needs? More wackiness.
I think that's a fact, actually.
Apparently, it needs psychic people.
Yeah, it got pretty fucking weird.
That is pretty fucking weird.
As weird as the Gingerdead.
Could you imagine the Nicolas Cage remake where it said he had to fight like a psychic dark cult the entire time?
You know that if that were the case, then we might have liked that.
It
movie
might have
so
been a little bit more entertaining
agreed.
than it actually was. It was not.
Yeah,
It was pretty bad.
it was not.
It was
Movie
pretty not good.
I would rather watch Gingerdead Man 3 times in a row than watch Left Behind once.
Yeah,
Absolutely, that's a fact.
100%.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
watch this again over Left Behind, 100%.
man,
No question.
man, that was a bad movie.
Ken, was there anything you can remember that we forgot that you really loved about this film?
That part where she was freaking out about her mom being missing and she screeched. Just
Yeah, like the
It's like-
Mariah
Oh
Carey
yeah, she hit
whistle
some
register.
real high notes there.
like I was like, what? And that's how you know they only had one take for every damn shot. Because you know somebody in that. I know. Look, we know what this is, but you know one person in that room, and it should have been her. in my humble opinion, to be like, can we do that one more time? Because
Yeah, it was bad. It was
Jesus.
shrill.
Cannon, how did you describe the music of this?
it was like some like knockoff like Jimmy Hart Disney Channel Hocus Pocus ripoff theme song.
Someone really liked Danny Elfman.
Yeah, and what you just could not emulate Danny Elfman.
Yeah, it's like the kid that's like really into Danny Elfman and he's got his like My First Keyboard trying to like replicate it. It's like, oh, that's adorable, Timmy.
So basically, what we're saying.
Watch it.
Yeah,
You have
go
to
watch
watch
it.
it. You have to watch
probably
the whole
watch it.
series.
Was it on YouTube, right?
Yeah, this was on YouTube for free. Yes.
It was for free. We didn't even have to have
I mean,
like premium or whatever.
I feel like not even YouTube's heartless enough to charge people to watch this.
Yeah, they probably like anytime like
I don't
they
know.
probably
I
have
feel
gone
like
to people
$1.
and been like, do you
I
want
don't
to put
know.
like a copyright claim on this? And the creators are like, no, let it ride.
but yeah, I was just like scrolling through the YouTube movie selection one night, and I mean, I do have YouTube Premium, but again, I'm sure you could still watch this for free there,
Oh, yeah.
or somewhere for that matter.
Yo ho ho.
But yeah, it's God damn it! I might have to watch the rest of these pieces of shit.
Dude, I kind of want to see
Is your
you.
list here?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, we keep paper down here, and there's a list. Were these some of your other choices for the thing?
No, I was just
Okay.
looking for movies. If I had fuck you money, what I would get.
Right. Because Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon is a good one.
I've never seen it. I'm
Behind
curious
the
about
Mask,
it, though.
eh?
You can borrow my DVD if you'd like.
Oh, you have that?
I have that.
Oh, hell yeah!
It was a good time. Like it's genuinely good. Yeah, it would have been a good choice for tonight if we wanted something serious and lighthearted.
I'll be honest. I went to I googled best B movies of all time, and I was looking through the list, and there was a couple of ones that I was torn between before I decided on Trolls due to the opinions of my friends. But one of the ones that I wanted to watch was called Samurai Cop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Samurai.
Have you seen Samurai Cop? Is it good? It looked promising.
Good's an objective word.
Well, I mean,
it's entertaining.
It's entertaining, and the number one. So the top 5 on this particular list: Troll 2 at 5.
Yeah.
Samurai Cop at 4.
Okay.
Birdemic at 3.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
See that one.
The Room at 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Hard Ticket to Hawaii at number 1.
I don't know that.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Apparently, it says it's one of the movies where it's just got a lot of dumb action and a lot of attractive-ish ladies
Is that
showing
movie
their
that took like 20 years
their
to make?
boobies. I don't think so. You talking about like? That sounds like the Duke Nukem game.
No, like there was some like terrible ass B movie that like got started filming in the 80s, but then production stopped for years, and then they literally picked it back up in like the mid 90s.
I don't know. It doesn't say anything about that. It says
I mean,
it might not be that one.
it's the perfect mixture of classical sexuality and hyper macho 1980s action. Its action sequences are insane, from the inflatable sex doll clutching skateboard assassin to the henchman named Shades, who is executed via a razor tipped frisbee. So,
razor tipped
frisbee, yeah.
Oh, I'm sold. I gotta see this movie.
Maybe
I kind of want to watch that.
I absolutely want to watch
like-
that. I was torn. I was really torn.
I have seen The Room.
Yeah.
I have not seen The Room. I've seen it referenced a lot, or at least the rooftop
entertaining,
scene
let me
referenced
tell
a
you.
lot.
So, a couple of my other choices I was torn between. I thought at first maybe The Prophecy with Christopher Walken and Elias Koteas.
Not the
Never heard
prophecy
of
with
it.
the giant skinless bear.
Correct. Now I love the Christopher Walken Prophecy movies. There's the first 3 of them. There were 5. Tony Todd was in the last 2. They're not great. But I love the first 3. And then I was like, no, I want something dumb and fun for my choice. So I was torn between Conan the Destroyer, not Barbarian. No, not the good one.
The Destroyer.
And Cole the Conqueror. And we're going to spin the wheel shortly. And if it lands on Shimmy's choice, you know what it's going to be.
You already know.
My other choice was Crawl, because the glaive kicks ass.
Well, your first choice was Big Trouble in Little China. Fantastic film. Everyone should go watch it. One of John Carpenter's best. Just didn't quite fit with the quality that we were looking for in this particular exercise.
I'd also debated on which of the 7 Tremors film I wanted to pick, because I've seen all of them and the TV show.
You are a big Tremors fan.
I love them.
Tremors rule.
Yes.
Ken, did you ever remember what your other choice was?
Well, I originally was bouncing between 2 before I landed on this one, but I thought about it and I was like, you know what? These might be a little too much fun for what we're looking for.
Damn.
My choices were Feast, the first. I think it was the first film made from HBO Greenlight. That show.
I remember that VHS box.
I actually enjoyed that movie, and also enjoy Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
That's
I
a
was
great one.
thinking
That sounds
about
exciting.
bringing that
Great
one.
film.
We watched that
That sounds
last year
exciting.
at Halloween, because my girlfriend was like starting to like wanted to watch stuff like that, because there was another one that she had. It was like the Love Witch, I think it was called. And then there was another one I'd been like back and forth on. My friends that sent me, my 2 friends that love B movies sent me a huge list of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I just looked at my DVD collection.
Oh man.
that's what I did.
Because I was like, at one point I looked at I thought about the Garth Edwards monsters, and I was like, no, that doesn't fit B movie.
Yeah.
But then Gary Busey.
Gary
It
Busey.
hit me like lightning.
You son of a
The
bitch.
tip of my penis.
Just when I think I'm out, you pull me right back in.
It hit you like a lightning bolt that reanimated a gingerbread man.
Yes. I mean, I think it was the batter that did it first. Technically, there was an arm moving around in the
Blood
patio.
and batter and lightning and
It was dark magic.
Blood, battered arms, and
magic.
prolapsed
Black magic.
penises. Let me tell
That
you.
Ouija board told us about that girl that got chopped up into a million pieces.
Man, that
Yeah.
spelled out longer than any book you've ever read in your life.
That was hilarious.
that was pretty solid.
I mean, honestly, the Limp Bizkit knockoff character is probably the least bad part of this movie for me.
Yeah, no, he was shockingly
Like,
solid.
you know, I know his
I would
character.
agree, yeah.
He had one of
It was
those-
like he kind of had some good takes every so often.
He had
every
that,
so
like
often.
Spencer's shirt on that said like "pull my finger."
Yeah, he did have a pull my finger cut off on, but I mean,
I
who
feel
didn't
like
in the
he-
2000s?
I feel like he's in a band that does Sum 41 covers.
Yeah, nah,
Man, I'd listen to that band.
I would too. I love Sum 41.
Just, I was really hoping for a scene. I know they never would have had the money for this, but where it's just that Limp Bizkit song goes rolling, 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 and they're just beating the shit out of the gingerbread man with a rolling pin.
No, you need to break
That's
stuff.
great.
I mean,
but it didn't happen.
Excuse me, I tried to talk in mid-yawn. They had the money to release, like 3 or 4 fucking sequels, but, I mean, even they don't have...
Well, they couldn't bring back Gary Busey, apparently.
Well,
so.
there was no room in the score.
They couldn't bring it back for the rest of the fucking movie.
Yeah, you're right.
There was no room in the score for, like, Limp Bizkit because the director's band needed to do the music.
Right. Yeah, that was
true.
It's very
Charles
decidedly.
Band, you done it again.
Charles Band is the name of the director.
You mentioned he directed Evil Bong as well earlier.
Oh, did he direct Evil Bong?
You said it earlier.
Oh, shit. All right.
You were like, directed by Charles Band. I was like, yep, that's the guy who did
Absolutely
this.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, that makes sense why the universe is connected.
He owns the rights to both characters.
This man's had a plan from day one.
Oh, wow. Well, I think it's a good time to spin the wheel to see what our next Uncaged episode is going to be.
Oh, hell yeah.
The wheel.
The wheel.
The wheel. I'll tell you.
So, because B-Movie Spectacular has so much shelf life in it, we're keeping it on the wheel.
Yeah.
So many B movies.
So what we've got, as far as the wheel goes,
The B movie.
it's 14 spaces. Number 1, Cannon's choice. Number 2, Jeremy's choice. Number 3, Ken's choice.
Oh, boy.
Number 4, Emilio's choice. Number 5, Frank's choice. Number 6, the Creed retrospective. Number 7, T. Hanks a lot. That's where we do a Tom Hanks movie.
Oh, okay.
Number 8, B-Movie Spectacular. Number 9, my choice. Number 10, Story Time with That Cannon Guy. Number 11, a Wild Wild West review. Number 12, a discussion on the worst comic book characters. 13, Paddington 2. And 14, Kindergarten Cop.
Man,
So,
we cannot lose.
Cannon, if you would, spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Wheel of Morality. Turn,
Oh,
turn, turn.
listen to
Tell us
that
the lesson
wheel
we should
click.
learn.
Come on, big money on whammy.
Mine's on B-Movie again.
Oh, it's Wiki Wild. Wiki Wild, Wiki.
Oh, shit. All right. You keep that movie's name out your fucking mouth.
Man, that movie slaps. I can't fucking wait.
I am excited.
I've never seen Wild Wild West.
What?
Oh.
That was so good.
Since you're an Uncaged host, you'll have to be back.
I gotta be back.
Gotta be back for that.
Gotta be back.
So, on our next episode of Uncaged, which will be next month, we gonna be watching Wild Wild West, y'all.
Jim West,
hell yeah.
Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada. None of this 12 gunniness. The
Giant.
Gingerdead Man reference.
You act like I'm not gonna look up that soundtrack on the way home.
That song
I got
fucking
time.
rules.
Dude, it's
okay?
on my phone now.
I've heard it so many
That
times.
song rules.
Like, again, genuinely love
What was the movie? Not to get too much into the content. What was the movie that Will Smith passed up on? It was The Matrix. It was The Matrix.
He was gonna be Neo.
Yeah, we'd had Will Smith.
Could you
over Keanu
imagine
Reeves.
Yeah.
that? It was like, what is this? Some sort of Matrix?
And we'll save it for the show, but there's a fun tie-in to both Superman Lives and Kevin Smith in Wild Wild West.
No shit.
true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easter eggs, cameos.
So that's going to be a good time. Next week, come back, and it'll be me, Jeremy, and Cannon. As always, there's always been
Yes.
gaslighting the audience with special guest Emilio for a review of Honeymoon in Vegas.
Yeah.
Should be a good time. After that, Travolting Development with, of course, Postman Frank.
Yeah, well, I fucking talked to me the whole time. Then this bitch, I'm over here playing patty cake with Abaddon again. We're playing poker. Abaddon, how you doing?
Abaddon?
Abaddon.
Frank didn't know you were here.
Been here all
Nice,
fucking time.
So that should be fun. Do we know what movie we're watching yet? Because I know there was some sad
Why the
news
fuck would I know? Why the fuck would I know what fucking Travolta development is? Oh, you're talking to Cat Hall. Let me get it. Hey, fuck up. What? You had a question?
Damn.
Do we know what we're watching for Travolting Development yet?
No, I have no idea yet.
Okay. Well, I'm sure it'll be a good time. Anyway, let's do the plugs and we'll head on out of here. Cannon, where can the listeners find you?
Well, they can find me at That Cannon Guy on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Goodreads, and, of course, TikTok.
Jeremy?
Folks can find me on my Instagram, which is Toons Cosmic Reality, or you can find me on Letterboxd at Backwards Hero, or you can find me on twitch.tv/Backwards Hero.
Ken?
You can find me at my house, but be warned, we practice castle doctrine here. So
Cool. You're going to have to beef up that social media presence.
Dude, I don't post shit on social media, man. Like, I could give you my socials, but I haven't posted since 2015. Like, I mean, you can follow me, but like, what the fuck is that gonna do?
I feel you on that because like I don't do TikTok.
Dude, my social, I do everything. I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. But like, I've curated that shit to be none of the people I know. I want just that meme dripped right into my veins. Give me that
stuff.
deep fried Gen Z shit.
And you can find me at Captain Shimmy's Almost Music, Captain Shimmy's Kinda Art, Captain Shimmy's Toy Box, or at the comic strip here in Tuscaloosa. You can also check out the merch store for the show at tpublic.com/user/Cajun Greatness. And we're on the TikToks, we're on the Instagrams, we're on the Facebooks, we're on all that shit, on the Twitters, because that's where you voted for this movie.
All 11 of you.
And
But we
come
love
back
you.
next week. We're going to have a good time, probably. I don't know. Nobody knows the future. Fuck off. Thank you for listening again. Shout out to our listeners in Dublin and Germany and Jeremy.
Our listeners in Jeremy.
I died in this movie.
Listeners, Gary Busey, thanks Gary Busey for
We
this
left that
movie.
whole part out.
Our German listeners, our Irish listeners, our all you assholes from here in Alabama, whatever. Love you too. Tappahannock. Big shout out to Tappahannock as always.
Big shout out to
Oklahoma
Tappahannock.
City been coming in. strong for
OKC.
us. That's right.
Oh boy.
And anyway, thank you all for listening. Leave us some likes on the social media because that's what people say nowadays. Maybe review it. Let us know you're there. in a
Like
way
and
that isn't
subscribe.
Voting for terrible movies. And we will see you next time. Good night.
We love you.
How absurd.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
How absurd.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.